I have things for you.
You're back. Without Mr. Maximoff. Is he all right? You didn't have to deal with him, did you? I mean, I presume not. But you mercenary types, you play by different rules than the rest of us. So, is Bonifant all right or not? Maldonado. I know that name. He's a renowned data broker. Black market. I'll have to let corporate know about his involvement. And that you managed to stop him. This was good work. Excellent work. Speaking of which, would you be so kind as to hand over the data? By reputation only, I assure you. We're not the only firm that's had research or client data simply wander off, then crop up in the hands of a criminal element. And that name cropped up in more than a few of them. So it does seem that you've spared us from becoming his next victim. And here you are. I included a little extra for all the added trouble you no doubt faced. You have Reliance and my gratitude. Yes, I'm very generous. You're welcome. Well, I suppose now corporate's going to have to get involved in tracking the data. Wonderful.
Now this planet, this is more my speed. I could hike here for a while. Just getting warmed up. Funny how Aquila City reminds me of Neon, with the wealth planted in the middle and the poor at the periphery.
My. You aren't from around here, are you?
Don't bother complaining because I bought a house in the core. I really don't give a damn what you people think. Who the who? Wait. Hassanov. You mean the family that owned this manor? Oh, hell. Elias Cartwright. That man's always had it out for me. My credits are as good as anyone else around here. I got a business proposition. 10,000 credits, and I take that alleged will off your hands. No questions asked. I paid good money to live here, and they're the ones trying to cheat me. If you start seeing sense, the offer is open.
So you sold 3 pickups today?
Yeah.
I really like it
Might
here.
get some more
I
on
just
the back end.
wish the people
Your casserole sealed the deal.
A moment.
Don't you worry, those walls are solid.
Like I said, be careful. I'd rather you forget the whole Hassanov business rather than getting hurt. You got it! That's wonderful! But Blake Aldwell... Let me think back. There was a Blake. Might be we can track him or any surviving kin down. I'll get my lawyer on this. Frank Langston's in for a rude surprise. And we can maybe see a Hassanov return back to the core. They helped make the Freestar Collective. If they have living heirs, well, it's more than I could have hoped for. You've more than earned this. You've done the city a great service. I hope Aquila is if you run into any problem. In my town, you come tell me. Actually, tell the Rangers.
Well, hey there.
Did you catch the thief?
Always painting
Tell me it
too
worked.
rosy a picture, though.
Annie, you're supposed to be doing your homework.
Mom, I have to know. You got him right? Right? I knew it!
Annie L. Wilcox, what did you do?
I told you about it. You know the Laredo robberies? Well, we caught the thief.
Wait, so that's real?
Of course, Mom. I told you.
She's telling the truth. You're not pulling my leg, right? Well, Annie's been giving me reports on her patrols for years. This is the first time anything, well, real may have come of it. Annie, we'll talk more about this later. But I'm proud of you. But you've got to be careful.
Yes, Mom. I'm gonna be the best ranger surveillance assistant ever.
Thank you for helping my girl and anything else involved. Take this. Lord preserve me.
I hope the Aquila City is safe. If you see anything fishy, come grab me.
Oh, you're back. How'd it go? Good. You did what I asked, so let's go meet the marshal. Follow me.
Welcome to the Rock, I guess.
We're headquartered in the upper floors of the Rock, but we also have remote stations throughout Freestar Collective space. Helps us to identify and respond to threats more quickly. Like I said before, there are less than a dozen rangers in all, and we operate with limited resources. Thankfully, most people respect us and are willing to cooperate. In this job, your eyes, ears, and wits are every bit as important as your badge and your sidearm. Marshall.
Emma! I take it you're here because you're satisfied that our new recruit can handle the job.
Seems capable. Enough, and we could use the help.
All right, then. Step forward, recruit. Let me have a word with you.
Excuse me.
I've got just one question. Do you pledge to defend the people of the Freestar Collective, even if it means risking your own life? Not good enough. You need to be sure about this. Now, what's it going to be? You ready to carry a badge? You've already had a glimpse of what we deal with. I'm not going to lie to you. It can get a lot more dangerous than what you've seen. So what's your answer? You up for this? Good. Here, take these. You're now a Freestar Ranger deputy. I'm assigning you to Ranger Wilcox for some field training. Listen good to what she tells you. Welcome aboard, deputy.
You've made a wise choice, but I trust that your duties as a ranger won't interfere with your service to Constellation.
Wish we could throw you a welcome party, but there's work to do. We got word from a farmer on Montera Luna. She says someone's trying to take her farm, and she's afraid she might be in danger. Just a name. Michaela Wagner. There have been Wagoners on Montera Luna for a long time, and I'm sure they're proud of that heritage. Well, it's a moon that orbits Montera. It's got a breathable atmosphere, warm climate, and good soil for growing. Well, Most things do at the start. Doesn't mean they stay that way. That being said, best not to assume anything. Just try to keep an open mind. Grab any supplies you might need, and let's get going.
Pay attention to what Ranger Wilcox tells you.
If you're looking for the Rangers, check the upper levels, or the cantina.
Interested in? Let's be certain to stock up on some extra ammunition before we explore the wilderness around the city.
Oh, that cat damaged or something?
Hey, hold up!
We got a lot of bars in the city. All class joints. Well, except Aggie's.
Pardon?
So, Henry's new batch? How'd it go over?
I know you like Henry, but
What? There's something wrong?
Sam said it tasted off. Really off. Gladys said it was fine. Then she dumped her whole glass on the floor when she thought I wasn't looking.
No.
I don't think we should carry Henry's stuff anymore. Our regulars have stopped ordering his old stuff too.
I'll break the news to Henry.
Kate, hold up!
So,
You should try
Henry's new
Bilbert's
batch.
beer. Problem?
Perhaps something you might be interested in.
I really don't understand why Weston can't rein in his... It's true, my husband runs one of the most successful... Something happened to Henry's beer? That's terrible. So terrible. But I'm sure I know nothing about it. Here's some credits for delivering the news. I expect that's the last I'll be seeing of you. Weston needs to get his brother focused on food production. If you can talk sense into Henry, I'd be forever in your debt.
Sooner we get to Montero Luna, the better. A farmer asked us for help. She says that someone's trying to take her land. We're gonna pay her a visit and find out exactly what's going on. We're going to a farm on Montero Luna. That's the moon that orbits the planet Montera in the Cheyenne system. Nothing much, really. Maybe stock up on ammunition in case things get rough. See you.
Interested in?
Star Collective space. Hold while we scan your ship. Alright, that's it. You're good.
Landing site docked. Passing.
Have things for you.
Over here!
The Free Star Rangers. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
I'm Ranger Emma Wilcox. My deputy and I are here to help. Now, tell us what happened.
I was out planting in the fields when I saw some men approaching. They looked like soldiers with uniforms and weapons and such. They wanted to buy the farm. Didn't even ask if it was for sale. Their offer was so low, I told them right where they could stick it. They said they'd give me time to think about it, but if I didn't change my mind, I was gonna regret it. Then they left. There were 4, but when they were walking away, I heard them talking like there were others. Maybe there's more out there. Nothing I can think of, no. Truth is, we're in some hard times here. The last harvest was the worst we've had in a long time. Besides, it ain't like there's a lack of available land around here. That's right. The uniforms look like the ones worn by Free Star soldiers back during the war. They had a certain steel in their eyes. Like men who were used to violence. I was in fear for my life. Well, they sure as hell look like fighting men to me. Go see for yourself. They headed into the canyons back behind the house. That place is dangerous. Steep slopes, narrow trails, rock slides, and all manner of hostile creatures, too. If you're going after those men, be careful. Oh, there's one other thing. They said they were the first. The first of what, I'm not sure. But there must be more of them coming.
Thank you, ma'am. That should be enough for us to find these men. All right, Deputy. Keep that weapon handy and your eyes sharp. Since these guys don't know we're after them, they're probably not making an effort to hide their tracks. Now, let's go and check out those cameras. Boot tracks. Several pairs by the look. Not too old either. Let's head down into the canyon and see if we can find
them. Are you certain that traveling into these canyons is wise? The route looks treacherous.
You better quit that. Before you hit something you'll regret. Something's out there. There you are.
Good eye, Deputy. Looks like we're heading in the right direction.
You better check your ammunition supply. It's clear that we're not the only things roaming these canyons.
They definitely passed this way. Let's just hope they're not perched up on these canyon walls, waiting to strike. Look out! Let's do this! Nice to get out under the sky for a spell. Leave 'em up. You're a natural tracker. You smell that? I'd bet my badge that's wood smoke from a...
We should be careful. This bottleneck is the perfect place for an ambush.
Right in that damn neighborhood.
Stand up.
We're gonna have some fun.
That don't concern you. If the Rangers get in our way, then they get what they deserve. That's all you need to know. Now quit complaining and get back to your post. And here I was worried I wouldn't get to shoot anyone.
Hello. I think I've found something here.
Ranger.
Well now, look who's here. Ms. Wagner called in the cavalry. Except it ain't much of a cavalry. I suggest you turn around and walk away while you still can.
Normally, I'd suggest you choose your words carefully so we could avoid bloodshed. But something tells me that isn't going to be possible.
Don't recognize the uniforms. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's like the Major said, everyone's conveniently forgotten. Forgotten our sacrifice. Forgotten how we were betrayed. We'll make them all remember soon enough. I promise you that. Oh, it ain't exactly the farm that's special, but that ain't none of your business. That's none of your damn business. You think you're in a position to make demands. Well, I've got news for you. All you're getting from me is a shallow grave. So, got any last words I should try to remember? If you think I give a damn about the Freestar Rangers, then you've got no idea who you're dealing with. Matter of fact, that just makes it even more fun. Air 'em out, boys! We've been found out! Don't let them leave here alive! You're dead, you hear me?
Targets that shoot back, okay?
Let's talk.
Not exactly a pot of gold, but this will do.
Are you okay? No way they're common thugs or hired muscle. The weapons, the training, the steel nerves. No, these guys were professionals. That badge with the number 1, I feel like I've seen that before, but it was a long time ago. Not usually. Most of the bad guys we run into are smart enough to stand down when they see the badge. Really? Guess you've led a pretty exciting life. Maybe the less I know about that, the better. Let's search the area. Maybe we can find something that explains what these guys were up to. Hopefully, we can find something that explains who these guys were and why they were after the Wagner farm. Likewise.
this, you just let me know.
Find anything interesting? Let's see what we have here. Interesting. So, their ship was stolen from the Hope Tech factory. Whoever pulled that off must have been one hell of a shipjacker. Well, I guess someone really wants that farm bad. Speaking of which, let's get back there and let Miss Wagner know that she's safe. For now.
What's the news? What happened? Did you find those men? Well, it's good to see you're all right then. They must have been crazy or desperate, trying to take on the Freestar Rangers. So who were they? And why do they want my farm? Hope Tech? The cargo ship company? Sorry, I don't know anything about that. They say the Rangers always get their man, so to speak. I'm sure you'll figure it out. I can't thank you enough. I'd hate to be remembered as the wagoner who couldn't hold on to the farm that's been in the family for so long. Of course. All the same, I'm grateful.
If you have any more trouble, give us a call. We're in system, so it won't take long to get someone out here. All right, Deputy. Let's get back to the Rock. We need to report this to the Marshal.
My family's been pending. Yes, I did. I was born in this house, and I plan on dying in it. The farm hasn't changed a bit since I was a kid. That's the Freestar Collective for you. Michaela's my little girl, my pride and joy. I raised her right here in Montera Luna, where she was born. Makes me mighty happy to watch her work in the fields. She has her mama's knack for planting, rest her soul. Michaela runs the place. I haven't been much use around the farm since my heart started getting bad. She passed on years ago. If my damn ticker has anything to say about it, I'll be joining her in the next life soon enough. I was, me and every other wagoner for generations. The saying goes that the wagoners have deep enough roots on Montera Luna to put our crops to shame. I don't know what I'd do without her. I'm too sick to work the fields anymore, and the damn farmhands couldn't run this place if their lives depended on it. Get on, then.
Nicely done.
If I catch those farmhands slacking. Yeah, that's right. He has a weak heart, and it's been getting worse the last couple years. He can't even help work the fields anymore. It's tough watching your folks get old. I can't imagine running this farm without him. I've been saving up to get him treatment at the clinic, but I don't think I'll be able to swing it for a while. Mainly grains and root vegetables. We rotate through a few different kinds. It's good for the soil. Also got some livestock and other animals, mainly to keep us fed. But we sell the extra meat and eggs when we've got them. Not much different from the other farms on Montera Luna, really. Since I was old enough to pick up a bucket, yeah. This farm's been in my family for generations. In fact, there have been Wagoners living on this farm almost as long as humans have been in the Cheyenne system. As far as I know, it's just me and my dad. This is the one and only Wagoner family farm. The only other Wagoners on Montera Luna are buried in our family cemetery nearby. Like I said, this farm's been in our family for generations. It's home, and it'll continue to be home as long as there's a Wagoner still breathing. Have a good one.
Quite rewarding to work on a farm, growing and raising everything needed to survive. Believe it or not, I'm almost envious of their way of life. You should ask Sam about Aquila sometime. He has some pretty amazing stories to tell.
You heard of the Elios retreat? Supposed.
The mayor's
Hey there, deputy.
What's the story on Montera Luna?
That call we got from Wagoner Farm turned out to be a little more interesting than I was expecting. Some men were trying to run the Wagoners off the land. They tried to buy it first, but when that didn't work, they turned to threats. We confronted them, and unfortunately, it came to violence. None of them survived.
You helped someone in need and came back alive. That's a job well done. You did good, but a celebration might be a little premature. For the time being, yes, but you could still be in danger. That's why we need to fill in some blanks. What did you make of these men who were trying to take the farm? I had a feeling you were no stranger to combat. Good thing, too, given the turn of events.
You can take the soldier out of the war, but you can't take the war out of the soldier. You carry that experience with you forever.
Now, did you find anything that might give us a lead on why these men wanted the farm? All right. Says here the thief had help from someone inside Hope Tech. Ain't much to go on.
There's something else. They were dressed in Freestar militia uniforms. The unit badge was yellow on black with the number 1. They also said something about being forgotten. They seemed bitter about it, resentful. Didn't you fight in the Colony War, Marshal? Any of that sound familiar?
The 1st Cavalry. I was in that unit for a while. But it was disbanded decades ago, after the Battle of Nira. What was left of it, anyway. The 1st Cavalry lost almost all their mechs and soldiers in a big push to take a United Colonies base. They were just about there when a ceasefire order came down. Both sides had just lost too much by then. It was a bloodbath. The commanding officer of the 1st disobeyed the order. He didn't want the lives of his soldiers to be sacrificed for nothing. They court-martialed him, and the rest of the surviving officers, and locked them all up. I suppose it ain't impossible, but it's real damn unlikely. The unit was pretty much wiped out, and the few that survived ended up in prison after a court-martial for disobeying orders. I don't recall how long the sentence was. The war between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective? Worst conflict the settled systems has ever seen. Each side unleashed terrible weapons on the other, and countless people died. The armistice was signed 20 years ago, but a lot of folks still bear their scars. Hell, it's our only lead. The Hope Tech factory is in Hope Town on Polvo. Nia Kalu's our ranger stationed out there. She can introduce you to Ron Hope, the president of Hope Tech. He might be able to help you find the thief. Just make sure you stay on his good side. He's on the Council of Governors, and they're the ones we answer to. Proud, stubborn, and smart. A self-made man. He built Hope Tech through blood, sweat, and sheer willpower. The ruling body that oversees the Freestar Collective and the Rangers. The council members are the political and corporate elite of the Freestar Collective, so we have to tread lightly when we're dealing with them. Good. The last thing I need is the council breathing down my neck. This is your assignment now, Deputy. Work with the other Rangers. Find out what you can about those men on Montera Luna. Meantime, I'll look into a possible connection with the 1st Cavalry. Good hunting.
I think the Marshal was right about you.
to get really grossed out by blood, but I'm used to it now.
I used to be an actuary.
I got it from one of the outfitters here. They're the best selection.
Thank you for saving my husband.
The emergency fund's empty, so please, hurry. This means a great deal to me, and the community. Keep it up and we'll have to name something after you. That is good news. What was the holdup anyway? Oh, that makes sense. Aren't they outside the walls? Wait, you went outside the walls, didn't you? Please, don't risk yourself like that. If anyone got hurt working for the Low House. I hate to ask it, but this next errand should be safe. Easy. Everything runs on charity. And our benefactors, though kind, I think sometimes, well, get sick of seeing me. A new face may ease up the purse strings, or at least save me some errands. It's touch and go sometimes. Pester too much and they could turn their back on the project. Too little and people suffer. So, the mayor, Elias Cartwright, has always been generous to us, but it's been a while since he's donated. Raisha Lands is a huge benefactor. Laredo Firearms has been vital for us. Both of those are routine, more polite reminders, really. The last is a long shot, probably futile, but the Trade Authority is incredibly wealthy, and they have never ever donated to us. If you could convince Duncan Lynch to give us anything, heck, a single credit even, I'd consider it a victory. You are a breath of fresh air. Once you're done with that, come back to me.
I really
Thank you for your time.
actual meat tastes like. How do we know synth meat is even remotely similar?
Another day, another show.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
For you.
I'm pleased you chose to visit us today. Oh, so Amira has some help? Good. She's going to work herself into an early grave if she's not careful. Laredo Firearms prides itself in helping out all the residents of Aquila City. I'll send Justin over to deliver our monthly donation. The trite answer would be a sense of civic responsibility. But the truth? Guilt. To achieve the level of success I have, broken promises, neglected loved ones, and tough calls. Donations like this are a way of making amends. Well, if the Rangers think the Low House needs more help, I'll tell Amira that Laredo is ready to help the community more. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Thank you for coming by.
Aquila's one of the old...
When you have a moment.
What brings you to the Trade Authority looks too happy to.
Do you have business with... The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal matters. We're neutral in all affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. The Trade Authority's image is doing quite well already. Thank you very much. I'm done discussing this matter. Nice to have some civilized conversation.
Interested in?
Aquila City's
You're standing on one of the... What day is it? Oh, shoot! I forgot. I'll send over my usual monthly donation to Amira. She truly is a wonder. And with the building project her and Mr. Tate are planning, there may be a day when the stretch is a distant memory. Well, from me. Unlike the UC, we don't tax our people to death. The city's budget is very tight, so it falls to the community to look after its own. I'll talk with Amira later. I didn't mean to cause any problems. Between thwarting bank robberies and helping the stretch, you have the city's thanks. Truly. If you run into any problems in my town, you come to me.
It ain't safe enough to farm with you.
The Cartwrights have been donating to the... And Raisha increased her donations. Substantially. Very substantially. I don't know what to say. No word from the Trade Authority. I'm sorry I even asked. I like to believe everyone is capable of empathy and compassion, but people like Duncan test my faith. I didn't say that, but I'm not going to correct you. Sarah Philborn gave me these credits to give to you for your help with the farm. You more than deserve it. And people say I'm too altruistic. I have one more thing for you to do, but I hope it's more of a reward. This is part of the Intellowit harvest. I'd like you to deliver it to Simone Jansen and her family. I want you to see the fruits of your labors.
Reports to management next week. You want to look them over first?
Amira said to expect you. This wheat ensures my family won't go to bed hungry. I genuinely don't know what my family would do without Amira. And you have no idea how much it means. She does. Whether rain or shine, she's there for us. Always smiling. Always comforting. I didn't believe in saints before I got to Aquila City, but I do now. Over here in Aquila, it's humbling to see regular people just looking after us. On behalf of my family, of my daughter, bless you. I was so scared.
We'll be lucky if we pull anything organic off this rock.
I have things for you. I have things for you.
trouble mining the ore, are you?
You've got to have a sense of humor. What? Hold on. You're telling me you actually found the heart of Mars? It's supposed to be harmless prank we send newbies to go find. It's not supposed to actually exist. Yet, here it is. Or at least something resembling the legend. The only way this could happen is if... Damn it! If I gave you the wrong cave coordinates. Well, whatever you found, it's still impressive. You showed me up on this one. Feel free to keep it, since I'd say you earned it. I bet my supervisor I could haul up double my normal quote. Leaving already.
What's up?
Yeah, sometimes it feels like
glad you're helping me. Hi! Thanks for doing that for me. I wish I could do it myself, but having a friendly adult help me is almost as good. I know, right? Last time I did this, lots of people came over to tell me how much they loved it. I only hope these drawings stay up longer this time. Anyways, it's not much, but I got a little something for you as a thank you. Do you want to hear the song I just made up? I think they'll really like them. I mean, come on, you've seen Space Frog. He's so cute! Maybe this time, people will like my drawings so much that no one will take them down. Maybe they'll be up forever. And ever. And ever. Oh my gosh, what if they're there forever and people like him so much, they make him a real Space Frog cartoon? Or like, toys for kids to play with. Or both. Bye-bye.
Oh, it's nice to finally be off our ship.
I had to break up one more flight.
If you don't mind the mess, let me just bring that up.
I picked up something you might be interested in.
Drawings. Pretty cool.
Oh, did you find the book, Dragon Star Force Volume 1, The Heroes of the Dragon Star? Wow! I can't believe you actually went and got it for me. I really appreciate you helping me out. Here's something for your trouble. A lot of free time. I accidentally started watching the sports movie because it was on and I was too lazy to change the channel. It's about this underdog team full of losers. It goes on to win the championship. You know the one I'm talking about? Anyway, it wasn't bad. The Radical Adventures of Jim and James. Yeah, it's super old, but it still made me crack up. Track down another volume of Dragon Star Force. I'd definitely appreciate it if you could help me out again. Oh, this means a lot to me. You won't regret helping me out.
Hell of a city, isn't it? There's nowhere else. Like it in the galaxy.
It's cliche, but it's true. You won't find a better selection or more reasonable prices. The Trade Authority appreciates your visit.
I picked up something you might be interested in.
UC Exchange is a brief place.
If you know anyone.
Growing up in Sidonia, gotta be tough.
Did you get it? Let me see, let me see. Oh, thanks a bunch. Oh, I can't wait to read it again. And then put it away for safekeeping so it holds its value. Here's the money I promised. Did you know they tracked down another volume of Dragon Star Force? I'd definitely appreciate it if you could help me out again. Oh, thanks. You're really doing me a huge favor.
Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind. I'm here for you, my love. I certainly do. It's all yours. It's reassuring to know that I have you by my side. If it keeps us...
The Trade Authority has access. You won't find a better. Of course. The Trade Authority appreciates your visit.
Ugh, Sidonia. Check your suit seals. Martian dust gets everywhere.
Watch out for the robots.
How goes?
Hey, I haven't seen you around here. Best not be looking for trouble.
Oh, you're back because you found the next book? Right? Right? Nice! Can't tell you how long I've been waiting to add this to my collection. Thanks again. I hope this makes it all worth it to you. Oh, track down another. I appreciate it.
Be advised, you are entering United Colony space. Please maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Scan.
Welcome to New Homestead. Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below. Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
Hey, what can I do for you? Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without protection.
The people here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it.
I can't believe the chunks here ran out of special sauce again.
It sounded like the guy would pay someone to get it for him.
Welcome to New Homestead.
I could really go for some of Anya's cooking over the brown holes.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
Ah, someone new. Are you a tourist, or have you just moved to New Homestead? Well, there's lots to learn. You can always feel free to try one of the historical tours, or ask the locals about life here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like? Oh my, that sounds incredible. Ever since I overheard one of the tourists speaking about it, I've always wanted to go. We hear about it, of course, but we rarely get much exposure to other worlds beyond the people who come from them to visit our little colony. I wonder if I can convince Nathaniel to go on a trip there with me and our daughter. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard? I figured the stories weren't all true. How else would you expect people to live together if you can't trust in laws to keep everyone safe? Even in a small community like ours, we have to maintain law and order. Though, I understand it gets difficult to always protect that out in the vastness of space. I imagine it's the same in the Freestar Collective. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water? I've read about them. It seems incredible, doesn't it? I've only ever known Titan, and it's always so cold and drab. I've always dreamed of visiting one to breathe the air, feel the warmth of its sun, but my husband is reluctant to leave our home. Can I ask you something else? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is space travel as exciting as it seems? I'd like to think that I wouldn't ever get used to it, that every time would be just as impressive as the first. But you're not the first person I've spoken to who has said something similar, so I have to believe that I could become just as jaded. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for me. It'd be nice to get... Hello! Don't mind me, I love talking with off-worlders like you.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's just how we live.
You all can travel the stars, but someone's got to respect and preserve the old soul traditions. I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara, filling her head with ideas about picking up and leaving home. You got anything to say for yourself? Listen here. Mara's free to make her own decisions. I'm not here to control her if that's what you're insinuating. But that doesn't mean I take kindly to other people manipulating her and telling her the other worlds are full of sunshine and rainbows. We live a simple traditional life here, and it's important to the community that we maintain that. Do you understand? Traditions like the way we tend this farm, strong family ties, early colonial life. We do it all with the bare minimum technologies to survive. Everything else is hard work done by humans. It's good for humanity's soul. People rely on technology too much. We need to remember how to perform the basics to survive in case we ever find ourselves without said technology. We need to remember where we came from. Earth, this system, lest we forget and repeat the same mistakes as before. We're one of the last colonies charged with that preservation. That's why it's important. We're going to have to agree to disagree then. I only ask that you respect our wishes. I overheard you speaking to my wife. You got anything to say for yourself?
I've heard about lots of other planets out there. Some of them sound pretty scary, though. Hello? I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kinda want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention. You're not going to tell him, are you? Oh, thank you! I promise it'll be fun. I like talking to tourists. I get to learn so much about everywhere else, and they get to learn about here. Now what should we talk about? Not really. There's some, though. Most are around my age. We all go to school in the same room. I don't know. I've never been to any other schools. We mostly learn about the history of the Sol system and Earth and stuff like that, until we get old enough to go on our learning vacation. That's when we get to leave to go to school somewhere else for a few years, or travel and visit other worlds, try out jobs and stuff. Oh, I can't wait. My mama says it's because he thinks we'd up and leave if we found out about the rest of the worlds out there. But I keep telling him, I love it here, and I love him, and I would never leave him. He doesn't believe it. He says the kids almost always want to leave when they grow up. But not me. Nope. I just want to visit somewhere else. Maybe. I think it's pretty fun. And I get to be around my mama and my papa all day, so that's cool. They say we all have to work a little, because it takes all of us to make the community work. Just like on Earth a really, really, really long time ago. Someday, I think it'd be cool to see other places and do other things, but this is fine for now. Bye!
Careful. There are some dangerous areas around here that we not want.
Well, what did we think of the
Off-worlders always ask how I can.
It's been a while since I last visited.
These people
Nice to see
sure
this
are
place
hardy.
still has the same charm.
Thanks for choosing Chunks. Which chunks can I get for you? Hello there. Welcome to the new Homestead Chunks. We've got all your Chunks favorites, well, almost all of them. Sadly, we're out of the special sauce. I know. But everything else is still that great Chunks food you know and love. So, what can I do for you? Well, people gotta eat, you know? But seriously, I think we're just starting to get with the times a little. And I can't think of a better restaurant than Chunks to usher that in. I think corporate just saw New Homestead as an untapped market. And the locals may not eat it, but the tourists love having a taste of home. You know I do. And what's not to love? It's delicious, nutritious, easy, fast, inexpensive. It sure makes my hungry belly sing for joy. My wife thinks I eat too much Chunks food, but I just can't help myself. It's so good. Oh, you had to go and ask the hard questions, huh? How can I pick just one? There's chicken chunks, beef chunks, potato chunks, cheesesteak chunks, cheesecake chunks, you know what? I'm gonna cheat if you don't mind, and just say I love them all equally. If I'm completely honest, it is. And people are always saying how this chunks can't compare to the real deal. And I just know it's because we never had that mouth-watering sauce. I've been in contact with some of the other restaurants out there, and they'll give me some, but they say they can't afford to send it, and I don't have a ship, so what am I to do? You bet it is. You may not hear people talk about it, but trust me, it's the secret ingredient. It's like the glue that holds it all together. I mean, not literally. I'm not saying it's glue or that our food falls apart. It's delightful. Tangy, savory, it's a little sweet, but not too sweet. And I've noticed that once people find out we don't have it, sometimes they don't return. It's the reason business isn't as good as other chunks. For real, good question. They haven't said, but I think it has something to do with them prioritizing other chunks over mine. I guess it's made at a different facility than our other food, and they don't even want to pay the shipping cost to ship from another store to ours. And sometimes I get lucky and a cargo hauler passes through with a route that takes them near other chunks and back again, but there's no guarantee. Wait, for real? You do that? You're not pulling my leg? Oh, yeah, right. I actually just got a message back from another chunks before you got here, and they got a case ready to go for me. Just tell them you're there to pick it up for me, and it should be good to go. Thanks. Things have never been better since this chunks opened up. Ooh, I can't wait until it's time to eat.
Did you see those wind turbines out there? Wow.
I still can't believe people actually live like this.
Hello there. The museum here is free to everyone. Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit? Wonderful. These are all rare artifacts from before the collapse of Earth. There isn't much of this stuff left outside of private collections, but here we're happy to share a glimpse of them with the public. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can. Of course, certainly. We have several items in our collection that we rotate in and out over time, but they all originate from the same place, Earth. We have everything from toys to antique technology to sports memorabilia. We even used to have an old Earth vehicle, but we had to sell it when we ran out of space for it. Most of our collection was donated by fellow Earth enthusiasts and historians who felt it belonged close to the homeland here in the Sol system. I am Maurice Leon, and I am the community elder. As the oldest living citizen at 96, my only job is to keep Earth history alive. I tell stories to the young people and the visitors from other worlds. Although my memory isn't what it used to be, I try my best to get the stories right. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, Some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. Sure, I'd love to. There was once a war so big that they say all of the world was involved. This was actually the second time it happened. They fought because a terrible man named Hitler rose to power and slaughtered many innocents. Millions were lost. Even the colony war pales in comparison. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. Thanks for visiting.
It's so cold here. I guess I should have expected that.
Starsap Tours. Just see me, Bill Starsap, if you want a truly one-of-a-kind touring experience of New Homestead. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years. Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. None taken. I get it all the time. If you think it sounds made up, well, that's because it is. I come from an eccentric family. Back in the early days of space travel, generations ago, my ancestors were really into science fiction. They wanted a name that seemed like it fit into the stories they grew up with, so they changed their last name, and the Starsap family name was born. Used to be Bramblefoot before that. Their ancestors liked a different type of fiction. Why would I want a tour of New Homestead, she says. Well, let me tell you, New Homestead is living history. These people are direct descendants of some of the first settlers to leave Earth. If you've ever wanted to know what that early colonial life was like, this is your chance to embark on a fun-filled exhibition unlike any other. Definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, well, I'd be giving away the tour for free. Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits. Great! Let's get this show on the road, eh? All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, the Titan Astro Base, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection. But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astro Base lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me. Have any questions so far? Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy. I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds. The original Titan Astro Base had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here. Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
Any questions about the farms? Oh, they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead. It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics. However, most citizens here take pride in a New Homestead-grown, sustainable diet. These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hearty root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well. Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems. Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here. Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Funny you should ask! Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up. Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site. You got it! On to our next stop! Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Enjoy your visit here.
Boy, am I glad they have a chunks here.
Interesting. The last thing I expected to stumble across in this segment is a museum. Might be worth a look around.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then.
I can't be a part of this.
The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean...
Hold it right there. You're under arrest.
You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right! New Homestead's famous wind farms!
You want to do this
for the stand. Outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
We have to farm. How is that part of our tradition?
We tend to farm because we need to grow food. And that's what our ancestors did on Earth.
Any questions about the...
Didn't they have big open fields?
Onward it is! But for now,
So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the...
New Homestead is a living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
That's a nice outfit you got. I could probably offer you a good price for it. Well, hello there, and welcome to my little shop. Are you visiting New Homestead for the first time? Oh, nice. You know, it's always such a pleasure to meet people from other worlds. Or just space. I don't judge. I'm Jay. I'm happy to help you find what you're looking to buy or take a look at whatever you want to sell. Trades of all kinds are welcome here. Or if you have any questions for me about the shop, the merchandise, or even just New Homestead in general, I'm happy to help you. We used to, but not anymore. Believe it or not, the New Homestead Tourism Board decided a while back to do away with souvenirs. We don't really have the resources or facilities to make them here ourselves, and it was decided that anything less than that would seem exploitive of our people and inauthentic. Only thing we have are these souvenir slates about the history of New Homestead. Tell you what, I've got an extra one here that another guest left behind a while back. You can have it. Glad you asked. I'm looking for all sorts of things. Anything, really. Clothing, weapons, jewelry, even stuff they consider junk. You name it. We don't get a lot of off-world stock, so I offer to buy things from travelers. Anything they're willing to part with. Between you and me, people around here talk a lot about tradition and whatnot, but even they get curious about what other worlds have to offer. I love them. Most of us in New Homestead appreciate what tourism does for our economic livelihood, so we go out of our way to make guests feel welcome. Some are indifferent about it, while a few others, I won't name names, are downright resentful of all the tourists and would prefer to be left alone. But that being said, I believe our generally friendly demeanor is a large part of what drives people to keep coming back. Sure thing. I'm also interested in buying if you have anything for sale. Enjoy the rest of your day.
This colony is a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Hello.
It's one thing to learn about early.
Ice mining operations are unusual, but if they're run properly, they can prove to be quite lucrative.
Out there without me. Have a good one. You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
That tour guide showed one of the kids a picture of some silly drawing he saw in Sidonia. Now I feel like it's popping up everywhere.
Welcome. I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern? Oh, well, thank you for joining us. You're in for a real treat. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you? You mean the Brown Horse? Well, it's only the longest continuous running restaurant since humans started settling outside of Earth. There's a lot of history within these walls, and some damn fine food and drink, if I say so myself. This place has been in my family for generations. My however many great-grandmother opened it when the first colony started on Titan. Back then, it was a simple mess hall that she chose to put a little extra love and flavor into. And now, it's the pride of New Homestead. Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk. But don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but he's a bit of a fanatic about it. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
You don't want to get hurt or sick around here. Dr. Lakota really doesn't care for tourists. The tourists. Wish someone could convince her otherwise. We take vandalism seriously.
Must be nice to be able to afford to travel, huh? Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am. You do? I mean, sure. I don't know what I can tell you, but if you want to talk, I don't have anything else I need to do right now. Okay, well, no. Not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever. What? Really? I don't know what to say. This is beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but wow, thank you.
I'm pleased that you realize the importance of a decent education. Oh, I can tell I'm going to like this. Every time you talk to me, I fall in love with you more and more. See you soon, love.
Thanks again for what you did for me. I'll remember your generosity. Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother. Then, who knows what? But I also do some odd jobs here or there for money. Sometimes I help Jay out at his shop, and he gives me stuff in return. Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. That sort of thing. The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us. especially some of the tourists. It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options. See you around, maybe.
We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
I can't wait to go away on my learning vacation when I grow up.
Great! Another tourist. Let me guess. You slipped on the ice and need a doctor to wrap your sprained ankle? They do, but they're also a terrible burden for a small colony doctor like myself. I have enough trouble treating our own people with the time and resources I have. I appreciate that you're trying to set me at ease, but that might as well be the same. Sorry for how I responded. It's not you, it's me. I'm just frustrated about all the non-native people I need to treat when our own still need help. Anyway, what can I do for you? I don't. They make a mockery of New Homestead culture. And on top of it, they're reckless. It's like I said before, I feel like I'm treating them more often than our own people. The problem is that most of the tourists' injuries are from preventable accidents, things our people know how to avoid. And often I have to take care of them first because they can't leave with their injuries, so I have to put off seeing my regular patients. So not only am I working extra hard for people who have little respect for me, it comes at the expense of our own. Actually, maybe there is. I have an idea that may be best suited for someone relatively unknown, instead of myself. I've got a mountain of work and a reputation to maintain. So I bought a realistic monster costume. The plan was to wear it, scare tourists away, and start a rumor about terrible creatures living on Titan. I figure that once word gets around, tourism will take enough of a dive to give me some relief. Oh, good. I was hoping not to have to do it myself, so I'm glad to have a volunteer. Here's the costume. I think this will work best on the surface, so just find a group and run up to them, acting like a convincing alien monster. With any luck, they'll run screaming and book the next flight out of here. What can I do for you? It's a harsh world, but as long as you're inside or wear a suit when going out, you'll be fine here. There's no breathable air on the surface, and you'll quickly freeze to death outside without protective gear, but otherwise the hazards are minimal. New Homestead was an early colony research base and has stood the test of time. It's safe, and it's proof that people can live pretty much anywhere. Don't worry so much. I bought it from a private seller. They said they got it from someone who wore it in a secondary school as their sports team mascot. I guess it was supposed to be a tardigrade or something. Anyway, the person I bought it from modified it a bit so they could use it in an independent movie they were making. But I guess that went nowhere, so they had to sell it. Lucky me, I suppose. Even though we don't have shiny new medical facilities, I imagine it's easier than wherever you're from. We have fewer people here, and we're very responsible when it comes to our personal health and welfare. So there's not much I can't handle. For anything else, we can get access to off-world specialists. Contrary to popular belief, we're not primitive. Be well.
Hello.
Those
Hi
folks
there.
in Sidonia may
You
be
need
closer to
medical
Earth, but
attention? See
we
Dr.
do a better
Lakota.
job preserving
But
its
I'll work
traditions.
for you.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
New Homestead is a living history exhibit.
If you'll pardon me, I'm not in...
We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
Pardon the dust. You got it. On to our next. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Interesting. The last thing I expected to stumble across at this type of settlement is a museum. Might be worth a look around.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. The of the colony's functioned since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. So, let's talk about... You're the boss! Let's go! Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. So of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right?
What are you doing?
Believe it. Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled systems. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. It's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Okie dokie, So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn. This collis used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a collis, you might say? Collis derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, colles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here... Excellent! So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. That brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth as a way to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and I respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks.
weird that people come here.
This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation. Since methane production is such an important part of the colony's livelihood, it's important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring.
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth, but we do a better job preserving its traditions.
As it reaches the surface. It takes miners working daily to clear the ice, melt it down, and keep the water flowing.
Be difficult trying to survive when this collection of shipping containers is all you have for permanent accommodations.
The whole planet's covered in life-giving water. Trick is in mining and melting.
What else can I tell? Sounds good! We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour.
Another tourist come to learn about the ice mines, huh? It's dangerous in the ice mines. I'd much rather answer your questions than have you going off to explore on your own.
Started as a simple mess hall for the scientists.
I'm surprised I still get this question. It's slippery, it's sharp, it can break, it can cave in. Those are just the obvious examples. Titan is also full of methane, which can sometimes be trapped under the ice. As you know, methane can explode under the right conditions. It can also asphyxiate you if you breathe in too much of it.
Horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them.
Ah, so you can relate. It's good to talk with someone who understands the challenges of the job. Not everyone does. If I might ask, what do you mind?
And named the place in their honor. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants.
Ah, I see. I can respect that. We used to do more traditional mining like that here, but it made much more sense to do it off-world, since it takes a lot more effort for less gain. We mostly export methane and other natural gases instead. Anyway, I'm sure we could swap mining stories all day, but I really should be getting back to what I was doing soon. For drinking water, and we use some of it to produce this air you're breathing. We recycle a lot of what we use, but we still need a nice, steady supply of fresh water. Lucky for us, Titan provides. For one, New Homestead is not a wealthy colony. But we also pride ourselves on doing things the old ways. It's part of the living history, they say. We don't mind. We work hard here, and it's very rewarding. Bye.
Cooking over at the Brown Horse.
I'm just trying to have a little fun.
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
that delicious. Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop. Right back where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more. Well, that's that. Sorry to hear. I tried to make it educational at least. Can't please everyone, I guess. Thanks anyway, and see you around. Take care!